Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome inside the IRA Civic Center for game number 3 of our live streaming coverage here at the Star of the North Bantam BAA tournament here in Grand Rapids. These games are brought to you by Minnesota Twist Drill in Chisholm. They are a proud sponsor of Up North Hockey, and they wish best of luck to all players on the season ahead and to have fun. The Rink Sports Grill in Evelyn offers casual family dining in a hockey-themed atmosphere. Try one of their daily specials or your favorite on the menu. The Rink Sports Grill offers 8 large screen TVs and 2 10-foot projection screens, so you never have to miss a minute of the game. They also offer large and small group seating with meeting areas available. Full menu, limited menu, or buffet. They can cater your event, party, or meeting. That's the Rink Sports Grill at 301 Hattrick Avenue in Evelyn, Minnesota. Check them out today. And finally, this game is brought to you by Iron Range Apparel. Stop by Iron Range Apparel for all your Minnesota-themed clothing and home decor. Located in the Thunderbird Mall in Virginia, Iron Range Apparel offers lake cabin and home decor, along with a large variety of apparel. Grab a hockey hoodie for the rink or a winter hat for the cold Minnesota weather. Each item is designed in-house, paying special attention to the local history and heritage. Iron Range Apparel also offers wholesale pricing and custom screen printing. Find them on Facebook and Instagram, and good luck to all the players. So Randy, a big game here in the Star of the North BAA tournament. Once again, we have another game live streamed on Up North Hockey. That whoever wins the game will move on to the semifinals tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Of course, in our last game, our second Bantam BAA stream between Grand Rapids and Chanhassen, that was another game that determined who's going to move on to the semifinals. And now here we have Rochester and Grand Forks. Same scenario here as well.
Yeah, a huge game for that. Find out our semifinalists, and then the fourth semifinalist will be determined by a wild card by their different various formulas to figure that out. So definitely a huge game for whoever wins the game here today.
And the loser has a good chance at getting the wild card spot too for the semifinals. There's some weird situation where if Rochester beat Grand Forks like by 4 or something, then Grand Rapids would be the 4th team in the semifinals. So that's pretty unlikely, as these two teams are very good. So we'll see what happens, and it should be a good one between Rochester and Grand Forks.
Yeah, it should be a fun one this afternoon. I thank everybody for joining our live broadcast here today and all through today here at the Star of the North Bantam BAA tournament here in Grand Rapids. Alright, so we're just finishing up the warm-up here, and then we'll be ready to roll with this game. Of course, we have one more game left here for you this evening from the IRA Civic Center. So stay tuned for that as well.
Some other action from today, some games that we didn't stream. Of course, we had Grand Forks over Buffalo 3-0, so Grand Forks 2-0 after that win over the Bison. St. Cloud over Roseville, that was live streamed on Up North Hockey. St. Cloud got the victory 4-0. Minot and Prior Lake, looks like it was 2-0 Prior Lake over Minot. And then of course Grand Rapids and Chanhassen 3-1 in favor of the Stormhawks in that one. Then there's a game going on right now. I thought I saw it was about 1-0, like West Fargo or something. So a tape battle over in the East Rink as well.
Got different games going on here, and all the different formulas to figure out who's going to be where tomorrow. We'll have a clearer picture once this game is done with, and then we'll find out our wild card team. Okay, sorry about that, folks. We had to change off our Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi signal was not good, so we switched over to 4G. So now we should be better as as Grand Forks scoring that early goal 13 seconds in. Mason Ray getting a goal for Grand Forks. Play continues now in the Rochester end as Black was behind the net, sends it out and sent back in by Noreen. Played at center ice and brought out by Geike. Gets it towards center as Grand Forks will turn it back in as Stroh sends it. Back up to Johansson with a shot right on and a save by goaltender. I can't see the jersey number on the goalie.
Yeah, once again, we apologize. There was a goal there in like the first 15 seconds of the game, so we apologize that you Grand Forks fans and parents missed that, and we're back on now here.
Dump behind. Rochester keeps it in. Grand Forks will bring it out as Ray brings it into the Rochester end and shot out front. Chance for Johansson right out front. Just shot it wide. Now sent back in by Barry. Out to center and on the icing, sorry.
This game is brought to you by Minnesota Twist Drill in Chisholm. They are a proud sponsor of Up North Hockey, and they wish best of luck to all players in the season ahead and to have fun.
Not sure, we might have an injury. Okay, bring is out to center and dumped in by picked up Noreen, sent over to Barta, back into the corner as Stroh sends it ahead. The half wall coming out as Barry. Sorry, this is Jackson brought it out through center ice and into the Rochester end. Black sends it ahead to Leinbach. Leinbach brings it in. Held in just Black shot it around the corner. Fired towards the front of the net. Picked up Grand Forks. And going to get it out here. Rochester turns around, coming back the other way as Ottman drives in. Ottman loses the puck as Rochester picks it up. And Grand Forks will move it out to center. Reynolds brings it in. Scarperud behind the net here. Ottman sends it around the corner behind the net and picked up by Grand Forks. Barry plays it at center. Rochester picks it up in their own end of the ice and works it through center ice. Picked up by Ottman. Back on the other, a chance right of the net by number 16, Blake Cans. Picked up Grand Forks through the center ice and driven in by Andres. Andres with a chance, back on the point, shot placed in by Stroh. Back to Stroh on the point again, shoots it up over the top of the net. Andres playing it in the corner. Give it over to Linseth, and Rochester will get it out to center ice. And that's 12:29 here.
So when the Wi-Fi wasn't working, we were talking about this Grand Forks team. So I reffed them in their first game against, they played Blaine in their first game. They looked like a pretty solid team, but then I also saw them play up in Roseau. They were in the semifinals in that one. You know, a very tough tournament, that AA tournament up in Roseau. They were in the semifinal game. They ended up losing to Hermantown, I believe, there for Bantam Double-A's, and now they look to do the same thing here, advance to the semifinals.
So penalty assessed against Rochester here. They don't have any time up on the board at this time. I'm not sure. I don't think this is a penalty. I think they may have an injured player.
Now recapping Hockey Day Minnesota scores. In the first one, Warroad got the victory over the host team, Minneapolis, 5-1. And then in the AA matchup, number 5, Blake, in our Class AA rankings, got the 3-2 victory over Blaine. So some fun games down in Minneapolis.
Yeah, a couple fun ones there. Minneapolis, I think pretty successful for them, for the whole city. And out to center ice, Grand Forks comes through with it, tipped in by Johansson. Rochester will move it out to center ice, and this is picked up by Brown. Brown brings it into the Grand Forks end. Knocked along the boards is Stroh. Stroh now with it. Grand Forks will recover that loose puck and bring it out as Rave skates it through. Stoppage of play here on the offside.
This game is brought to you by the Ring Sports Grill in Eveleth. They offer casual family dining and a hockey-themed atmosphere. Try one of their daily specials or your favorites from the menu. The Ring Sports Grill offers 8 large screen TVs and 2 10-foot projection screens.
Brought back in by Rochester. A shot right of the net. Denver on the other side there. Tough to see these jersey numbers as the numbers are on the back of the jerseys. I always like that when the team has the number on their sleeve. It's easy to put those numbers, but this is kind of a challenge. Especially that I've done neither one of these teams before. This is Barry with it. Gets it over to Barta. Brings it out to center ice. Dump back in by Rochester. Out to center, tipped by Philpott. And into the Rochester end of the ice. Shot right on by Barry, just off the goaltender's pads and in the corner. Barry will get it again, hits traffic out front. Wheeling around is Jackson now with some pressure. Good defense in front by Rochester. And they'll get it out for the icing.
So I don't know if these rumors are true, but from Danny Ryan, according to him, Hockey Day Minnesota might be in Mankato next year. That's unofficial. He doesn't know that for sure, but that's what he's heard. So that'd be an interesting location.
There's a shot out front, right out front of the net as Mason Reynolds puts it home for Grand Forks to put them up 2-0. Yeah, that'll be interesting if it is in Mankato. That'd be the first time that it's going to western part of the state.
Yeah, I think it'd be really cool to see Mankato East and Mankato West play. You know, they're two even teams. They're big rivals, and they would get a out for that one.
Well, they said Mason's on that goal. On goal scoring. As Grand Forks moves it out to center ice and picked up by Reynolds. Reynolds drives it in, leaves it back on the other side for Stroh again. And Rochester moves it behind their own net here. a battle for it in the corner. Sent shot right on. Nice chance for Linseth. Again, Grand Forks coming back with some good pressure early here in this game. Over in the corner is Vetch. And Skarperud. Skarperud with the puck, moves it around. He'll bring it out and tip it back in the corner and picked up by Andres. Andres will leave it for Linseth. Loose puck behind the net, centering pass out front. Goes back to the point, shot right on from Mason Ray, who got the first goal for Rochester, or for Grand Forks.
This game between Rochester and Grand Forks is brought to you by Iron Range Apparel. Stop by Iron Range Apparel for all your Minnesota-themed clothing and home decor. Located in the Thunderbird Mall in Virginia, Iron Range Apparel offers lake cabin and home decor, along with a large variety of apparel.
He
Hockey
works it
hoodie
in
for the rink, or a winter hat for the cold weather. Iron Range Apparel. Each item is designed in-house, paying special attention to the local history and heritage. Iron Range Apparel also offers wholesale pricing and custom screen printing. Find them on Facebook and Instagram, and good luck to all the players.
All right, and brought out here to center ice. Picked up as Johansson brings it in. Behind the net. And loose puck around the boards, picked up by Linseth. He tries to play it. And Rochester will move it out to center ice. Played through center. And over Brown. Brown behind the net, trying to work it to the front of the net. Going to get pressure out front as Grand Forks turns it the other way, and they'll come back in with Johansson. Sends it in the corner. He'll go off on a line change. Fire around back to his Vene. Rocked out to center as Geike has it. Geike works. Geike with a shot. This goes. Great chance for Geike there to get Rochester within one goal. Retzlaff works it behind the net to over to Decker. Decker with it and picked up now by Grand Forks. Jackson back over to Philpott. Philpott skating around, centers it for Jackson and dumped out by Rochester. 6:46 left here, period number one. 2-0, Grand Forks.
Yeah, quick start for Grand Forks here in this game. You know, it's a huge game. Of course, the winner moves on to the semifinals. Looking at shots on goal, Grand Forks leads in that category as well, 12-5. So a good start for Grand Forks, and Rochester needs to get going here. They got to get a goal as they trail 2-0. 6:46 remaining here in period number one.
And dump back in as Rochester moves it in. Then drive out front. Turned aside. Rochester will hold it in as Sexton has it. Sexton now with it back on the point. Sexton sends a shot. Gets deflected in front. It's on target to the net. There's a chance for Rochester out front as Gibson had a chance. And sent out by Grand Forks on the icing.
Yeah, good chance there for Rochester. They almost got it in there. Minute 22 still remaining on their power play, so they're looking to set something up here. 6:08 remaining in period number one.
As Grand Forks will try to get it out and play it back in. Sexton holds it in. Sexton plays it over on the other side. Shot right on. Can't see that number. 21, I think. Not positive.
So a couple shout-outs here. Of course, Adam Franzen. He's on the broadcast here tonight, as always. And L.O. is watching from Seattle. So wide range of viewings here on Up North Hockey. That seems to be a common occurrence, especially for our high school games. We have people watching all over the country and sometimes even the world.
Oh, we appreciate watching it from Seattle, and tipped in front. Rochester with a chance. Here's Sexton back on the other side. Sexton sends it in the corner, back to Sexton here. Sexton sends it over to Geike. Corner and sent back over to Sexton. Sexton sends it over to Dennis. Back on the point, a blast put on by Geike. Sexton behind the net. Works it over to Dennis. Dennis with a shot, hit the goal pipe. Chance out front for Rochester again.
Well, some more chances there for Rochester, but you know they couldn't pull the trigger there and bury it. I heard one pipe in there and a couple other rebound chances, and the Grand Forks goaltender comes up big. You know, this would be a good to have the number on the sleeve as I'd be able to see it. Not sure what the goaltender's name is right now.
Yeah, it's sent in by Black. In the corner is Brown. Wheeling back to Black on the point. Sent back out to Black here. Black sends it through traffic. Blocked down, and Grand Forks will send it back to Rochester. Grand Forks returns to full strength. 4:39 left here, period number one, 2-0. Grand Forks over Rochester. Winner definitely moves on to the semifinals tomorrow morning. The loser can still hope for a wild card bid. And it's fired out by Rochester and back.
So make sure to tune in after this game. We have another Bantam AA game coming your way next at 7:10, Minot and Roseau. Then tomorrow, we'll have streaming coverage of the 12 o'clock game here in the main rink, and then the championship game here from the IRA Civic Center.
Fired around behind the net by McBain. And Rochester will try to move it out here. Sent out and sent back in by Barry. Over to the other side, tipped back in by Grand Forks. As Barda plays it in the corner. McBain in there to help out for Rochester. Ray fires it back in. Behind the net is Vetch. Now played by Barda. Barda leaves it for Jackson. Jackson plays it around behind the net. And sent in by Ray. Save out front. Nice save by the Rochester goaltender. And out to center. Barry picks it up and dumps it back in for Grand Forks. Now Sexton plays it over on the other side. Picked up by Ottman. Now McBain with it. Gets it out to center. Picked up by Ottman. Sends it in. Works it over to Jacobson. Ottman into the corner as they'll go off a change. Barry plays it. And picked up by Brown. Grand Forks comes back the other way. This is Ray with it. Ray skating in. Shot, save. Rebound in front. Still loose as Grand Forks picks that up, and we get a whistle and stoppage of play here. Puck out of play.
Nice little rush there by Mason Ray of Grand Forks. And that was a nice save there by the goaltender for Rochester as well. He's made a couple nice ones. He made a skate one earlier in the game, and then he made a nice pad save that he barely made, but it was a nice save. So he's been, despite the two goals, he's made some other nice saves, preventing it from being over like 3 or 4-0 or so.
Sent back in by Noreen. I think got blocked down a little bit as Brown tries to get it out here. Brown tips at it. Played over on the other side as Stroll gets it through center ice. As we get some hitting during the play, so we're going to have at least one penalty coming up here. And it looks like a power play for Rochester here, with 1:54 left here. No, we're going to have coincidental minors coming up here.
Yep, some extra shoving and pushing there, so referee's going to call it both ways and send them both to the box.
Well, one's a 5-minute major. Calling a major on Grand Forks here.
Okay.
So it'll be 4-on-4 for 2 minutes, and then Rochester will have a 3-minute power play.
Well, that's a big power play, 5-minute, if they score after the 4-on-4, when it's 5-on-4 in favor of Rochester, if Rochester scores, they can keep scoring until that penalty expires. It does not expire if you score a goal. So huge power play here, 1:54 remaining in the first period. Rochester needs a goal here, at least one on this power play.
Yeah, they got to get something going here. Sent in by Dennis. And picked up, moving right in. Was a chance for Leimbach. And a great chance there.
So 4-on-4 for the remainder of this period. And, it's a 3 minutes to start their second period.
Leimbach will take the draw at Grand Forks. Plays it. And brought out to center. As tipped by Andres. Wheeling around with it is Linseth. Leaves it as Grand Forks brings back to the Rochester zone. This is Noreen working in. Noreen behind the net, wheeling around. Gets it back to Stroll. Stroll with a shot. Nice defensive play, but Stroll picks it up. Stroll with a shot. Again. Rochester turns it back the other way. Leimbach brings it to center ice. Leimbach skating in. And it's blocked down by Grand Forks. Leimbach in the corner. Leaves it out to the forward along the half wall. Turned around by Stroll. And sent out to center. Tipped in by Andres. Yeah, knocked through as Sexton brings it in. The phone is being goofy this afternoon. As dumped back in by Johansson. Barry will pick it up. Around the back of the net. Comes Decker. Decker comes up to center, gets it over to Geike. Geike with a shot right on. Save into the corner. Rochester moving the puck around better here on this shift. Decker trying to keep it in here. Decker sends it back in. They'll tag up. No, they said they didn't get tagged up in time. All right, so 6 seconds left, and that's the end of the period here.
So that's going to do it for our first period of play here at the IRA Civic Center. After one period of play, it's 2-0 in favor of the Grand Forks Aviators over Rochester. And Randy's just getting the official scoring from that first period. and he'll have that for you momentarily here.
Buying that scoring sheet. That's what they got.
So here's your scoring summary from the first period. Grand Forks took a 1-0 lead at the 13-second mark of the first period, 13 seconds into the game. Scoring the goal was number 2, Mason Ray. He got an assist from number 8, Dylan Jackson, and number 3, Bauer Barry. And Grand Forks took a 2-goal lead at 6:52. Scoring the goal was number 19, Mason Reynolds. Assist to number 12, Mason Stroh.
Back underway here. And it's tipped there. Now for the next 2 minutes and 50 seconds here, Rochester on that power play on the second part of that major penalty. So wheeling around is Rochester in the zone. They're hoping to cash in on this power play. Sent over on the other side. Chance for Geike. Back to out and all the way down. Rochester back to retreat is Sexton to get it here. Sexton will play it behind the net. Gets it up to center ice. And brought in by Geike. And he gets whistled on the offside. 2:10 left on that power play for Rochester here. Play it around as Reynolds gets it out and picked up by Sexton. Gets it over to Geike. Back to Sexton. Geike will pick it up and drive it in. Ray plays it around the corner behind the net to Reynolds. As Rochester controls. Sends it over to Geike. Geike with it over on the other side. Sent in. Geike will pick it up. Played behind the net. Centering pass out front for Lineback. And a save by the goaltender.
This game is brought to you by Minnesota Twist Drill in Chisholm. They're a proud sponsor of Up North Hockey. They wish best of luck to all players on the season ahead and to have fun. And a quick shout out here. Egan Johansson's watching from Edinburgh, Scotland. Watching Grand Forks and Rochester here all the way from Scotland. So we thank, it's probably Egan, I think. Egan, Egan. We thank him for watching our stream here tonight.
Well, that's cool. We don't get that many out of the country watchers, so thank you for watching our live stream here today. Behind the net is Rochester. Centering pass out front for Kantz. Just couldn't put it home. Played now by Core in the corner. Sent back to the point by Black. Sends it in. Black now sends it back in. Gets traffic through, but sent up by Kantz. Picked up by Core. Core back to Black. Over to Core. Core working it in here. Back to Black. Trying to get something going as Rochester here. Shot right on. Save by Peterson. Has another chance for Rochester.
This game is brought to you by the Rink Sports Grill in Eveleth. They offer casual family dining in a hockey-themed atmosphere. Try one of their daily specials or your favorites from the menu. The Rink Sports Grill offers 8 large screen TVs and 2 10-foot projection screens, so you never have to miss a minute of the game.
This is Ottman. Back over to Vinay. Wheeling around as Rochester trying to get a shot away. And this will come out to center. Picked up by Andres and fired back in by Grand Forks Andres. Oh, tip behind the net, he scores! Linseth broke in there all by himself. And a goal here. Linseth. So Linseth on the goal, 14:04 left here, period number 2. Unassisted goal for Linseth. Both teams are at full strength now as Lineback brings it in for Rochester. There's a shot just off the goaltender's arm by Dennis. Held in by Rochester here. Now they need to get something going here. Second period, down by 3. Moving around is Jacobson. Leaves it out for Chance. Goes over the top by Lineback.
Definitely a missed opportunity there for Rochester. You know, I felt like they needed to get a goal there, get their first goal of the game on that 5-minute power play. They didn't just not get a goal, but they also got scored on their on the power play. So not a good power play there for Rochester. And now Grand Forks leads 3-0, 13-17 remaining in the second period.
Behind the net is Ray trying to bring it out, sent back in by Rochester's Lineback. And it's going to be an nope, they waved it off. Easy. Player got down there fast. Reynolds got there to break in there, and Vetch trying to center it out here. Ray tries to keep it in. Ray sends it in through traffic. And the goaltender makes the save, and that is saved by Nick Wyke.
We're going to have a research. We're going to go down and check out the bracket sheet or whatever, the pool sheet for the scores. And you know, there was some scenario where if a team won by a certain amount, then the team that lost would not get the wild card spot in the semifinals, and it would go to Grand Rapids. So we'll definitely go check that out and let you guys know there, as it's, you know, it's a big game, and score differential is a big determining factor here for that wild card spot. Yeah, that formula, different kind of formula, figure that out and see who that fourth team is going to be. Certainly the goal differential in this game will play into that. So we got a double minor being called here, I believe. They got 4 minutes on the clock here. Looks like it might have been a mistake as they're taking it off right now. I believe it's just
meant to be a
2-minute minor here. 12:43 remaining here. Second period, 3-0 in favor of the Grand Forks Aviators.
And Grand Forks will keep it in, but this is McBain. McBain plays it around on the other side to Brown. Brown tips it through center, and that's going to be an icing.
Something worth noting on Grand Forks, number 3, Bauer Berry, is the son of head coach Brad Berry at the University of North Dakota. So, that's kind of a interesting fact there.
Yeah, Bradbury's had some nice success for Grand Forks for the North Dakota Fighting Hawks. There's Bradbury taking over for longtime head coach Dean Blaze. I'm sorry, that's not correct. I'll get that correct. Next whistle. Barry sends it around on the other side. Yeah, it's picked up by Johansson. Johansson behind the net. Gets it over at Andres. Andres shot. Gets blocked through the traffic here. Andres keeps it in for Grand Forks. Over on the other side is McBain. McBain plays it over to Brown. And he'll tip it out. As it waved off there. As Grand Forks will move it out through center ice and picked up by Barda. Picked up by Ray and sends it back in. Now Brown, this is us. Picked up by Grand Forks now and brought back in as Barda sends it back, or Philpott sends it back in the corner. Centering pass, shot! Oh, the goalie saved it there. Nice save by the goaltender as Dylan Jackson put a nice wrister on goaltender Nick Wyke, but Wyke had the big save there.
Yeah, big chance there for Jackson. A silver platter chance for him, and a nice save there for the goaltender for Rochester.
Jackson takes a draw here, gets it over to Stroh. Stroh works it back in. And Rochester will bring it back out. It's dumped out by Lineback. And that's an icing. Lots of icings in this game, Blake.
Yeah, the pace of play has kind of been slower. A lot of whistles, offsides, icings. There's been a lot of penalties too. So, kind of a slower game so far here in this one.
This is Vetch taking the draw for Grand Forks, plays it back to the point to Noreen. Noreen will play it back in. Sent back in by Ray on net, and they're offside. So Blake, I was going to tell you, the Bradbury took over for head coach Dave Hackstall. Dean Blaze was the head coach of North Dakota prior to Dave Hackstall. So both of them spent numerous years at the University of North Dakota. Stroh dumps it back in. As there's a whistle and a stoppage of play.
Another whistle here, about 3 in the last 20 seconds, especially here in this period. There's been a lot of whistles.
Face-off is going to come to the right side of Nick Wyke. Played back around, picked up by Skarperud. No, I'm sorry, that's Reynolds behind it. That is Skarperud over on the far side. Grand Forks will dump it back in. Back is Decker. Plays it around. Centering out front. Chance by Reynolds. Shot right on. Save Wyke.
Looking at the shots on goal, 21-17 in favor of Grand Forks. So, fairly close. Rochester probably got quite a few shots on that 5-minute power play. Well, it was actually 3 minutes because it was a coincidental for 2 minutes. But, shots kind of evening here, but on the scoreboard, it's still 3-0 in favor of the Grand Forks Aviators.
And played by Ottman. Sent back in by Ray, keeps it in. McBain plays it around the other side. Over to Retzloff. Retzloff as Grand Forks picks it up at center. Ray has it at center, drives it back in. Gets it over to Lineback. Sends it behind the net. Played back in towards the goal. Shot right on by Grand Forks. Another save for the goaltender.
This game is brought to you by Iron Range Apparel. Stop by Iron Range Apparel for all your Minnesota-themed clothing and home decor. Located in the Thunderbird Mall in Virginia, Iron Range Apparel offers lake cabin and home decor along with a large variety of apparel. Grab a hockey hoodie for the rink or a winter hat for the cold Minnesota weather.
I feel like this is the first time I've ever done play-by-play in my life. Trying to do the best I can with numbers here, but struggling with those for sure. Rochester will move it back in as Geike has it. Geike works it towards the front of the net. Had Jacobson planted out front. Now it's center. Rocked out as Jackson works it in. Gets it over to Philpott. Philpott shot! Shot on one side. Jackson picks it up and had another chance at it. Grand Forks will keep it in. As it is brought out by Decker. Sent in by Jackson. The shot on. Turn back the other way. Comes Geike. Gets it over to Brownie, who puts a shot on goal. Nice chance for Rochester there. They need to get something going here. Down by 3 goals here. 3-0. 8:15 left here, period number 2. Grand Forks up on top. And sent back in by Reynolds. Behind the net, picked up by taken away by Scarperud. Scarperud sends it back on the point to Noreen. Sent in. Chasing in there to get his Stroh. Sends it towards the goaltender, and the goaltender, Weike, will make the save. .743 left here, period number 2.
Looking at our schedule for next week for high school games, we get back in action with boys high school hockey starting on Tuesday. As well have coverage, live streaming coverage of Clocasco Carleton and Virginia Mountain Iron Buell from the Miners Memorial Building in Virginia.
Yeah, it'll be a fun game there, Cloquet and Virginia. Get a chance to see both of those teams again this season.
Yep, we've seen both teams already a couple times, but you know we haven't seen them in a while, so it's gonna be fun to see how both teams have progressed as the season's gone on.
And sent back in by Barry. Grand Forks. Behind the net is Vinny. Plays it out to center and picked up by a lineback. Lineback gets it over to Dennis. Dennis brings it in. Dennis into the corner. Picked up by a lineback. Out to center we go with Linseth driving in. Linseth and a host of others fighting for that loose puck over along the blue line. As Ray picks it up. Ray tips it into the zone, and the phone keeps, Siri keeps coming up on the phone. That's weird. So 6:32 left here, period number 2. 3-0. Grand Forks over Rochester. Back behind the net, Rochester trying to play it towards the out front. Was a chance for Ottman. And sent around by Ottman again here. Played by Kantz. Sent out now by Barda. Finding Retzloff. Retzloff will get it to Kantz. Gans plays it out to center. And into the zone is Ottman behind the net. Gans plays it behind the net. And on the other side is going to be picked up by Retzloff. Fired in by McBain. Just goes wide of the mark. Geike will pick it up. Geike gets it back to the point. Over to McBain. McBain shoots it in, blocks down. As Vetch got a hold of it, got it out here, and this is Barta moves it in. Barta moving right towards the net. Shot, save by Geike.
Couple of shout outs here. Mary Jean Olson cheering for Grand Forks from New York City. Go number 20. And number 20 is Caden Johansson. Then a Helvis 2-on-3 watching Margene in snowy Manhattan.
Thanks for watching from the Big Apple.
I guess it's snowy there too, as of course we got quite a bit of snow here as well. You know, in between games, in between the morning and evening games here, I had to go do some shoveling as we got snowed in pretty good here in Grand Rapids.
Sent around by Decker. Grand Forks will keep this in here. Scarperud with a drive right on goal. This goes wide of the mark there. Great chance for Carson Scarperud. Scarperud again, plays it over. Scarperud wheels it around, wheels it back to the point. Back to Barry, shot right on goal! Another goal for Grand Forks here. 4:30 left here, period number 2.
Another shout out here, Sarah Sorbo. Go Caden Johnson from Portland, Oregon. Or it's not Johnson, excuse me, Caden Johansson from Portland, Oregon. Looks like we have quite the fan club for number 20 here for Grand Forks. About 3 people watching him from different locations.
Riley Vetch is going to get credited with the goal for Grand Forks to put them up 4-0. Turn it back is Johansson. Our most watched player today here. Johansson plays it around the net. Behind the net. And sent back in by Linseth. Andres over to Linseth. He'll play it out front. Racing in there to get his Noreen with a shot right on, and a save by Wyke.
Continuing to go over our schedule for next week. On Thursday night, we're going to return to the Eveleth Hippodrome for the big rivalry matchup between Virginia and Eveleth Gilbert. And that's also a big game because they're revealing what they're going to name the new school because of course, Virginia and Eveleth are going to be combining in the next couple of years as they should be breaking ground on that school here very soon.
And played back in by Grand Forks. Yeah, that'll be a fun night on Thursday night over in Eveleth. Not only a huge game, huge rivalry game, but get to announce the new.
I think it's going to be packed there too. Like you're probably going to get people that wouldn't traditionally go to a hockey game because they want to know, they want to see it in person, what the new school name's going to be and the new colors are going to be. So it should be a fun one on Thursday night.
Yeah, I think they're expecting a big crowd. Of course, talking to JoJo Scott on Thursday night, she expected a big crowd in Eveleth. But she said she'll have a spot for us, so we appreciate that. And dumped out by Rochester. Played on the other side to Barry. Ray will bring it out here. Trying to get over to Barry. Tipped back in by Rochester's lineback. Lineback picks it up here. Lineback sends it back behind the net. Barry plays it over to Ray. Ray will get it out to center. Sent back in by McBain. And Barta turns it the other way. Barta behind the net. Out to center and through, and really icing here.
So tonight, Adam Franzen is not fishing. He's watching from Pengelly, but he is cooking the fish that he caught up at Lake of the Woods. And he's asking what time the championship game is tomorrow. And that's going to be at 2 o'clock tomorrow, and we'll have live streaming coverage of that here from the Star of the North Bantam AA tournament here in Grand Rapids.
Adam, we expect you to bring some fish over for us. Fry some fish up and bring it for the championship. Hot and ready. Only kidding, but that'd be fun. So, sent back in by Rochester. Moving back in is Geike. Sends it behind the net. Picked up by Decker. He holds it in. Play it over to Ray on the other side. Ray, all right, sorry, that is not Ray, that is Stroh. Picked up by Noreen. And Rochester trying to hold it in. Here's Brown having it. Scarperud picks it up. Recovered now by Rochester and sent back in by Brown. 1:43 left here in period number 2. 4-0. Grand Forks over Rochester in this key matchup here tonight. Rochester brings it back in. As a shot placed on by Geike. And a save by the Grand Forks goaltender. Goaltender Peterson with the save. Picked up by Ray. Ray will play it out. Is in that. Is Core. Goes it back to the point. Shot in. Just over the top of the net here. Well, coming up on a minute left here in period number 2. There's Andres trying to get it out. Held in by Decker. Out to center, and we get a whistle and stoppage of play here. Penalty coming up on Grand Forks.
Looking at the rest of our schedule for the week, we're not sure about Friday. We're looking at maybe taking the night off as there's not a lot of area games for us. Then Saturday, I'm looking at doing Hail Murray and Grand Rapids right here at the IRA Civic Center. So if I decide to do that one, that should be a good one there.
Yeah, that'll be a good game. Hill Murray, Blake will have the play-by-play for that one. That should be a very interesting game between Hill Murray and Grand Rapids. We saw a scrimmage early in the year, those two teams.
Yeah, that was one of the first. I mean, it wasn't a game, obviously, but one of the first. It was the first boys high school hockey, if you want to say maybe. I mean, it was a scrimmage, but first seeing the first high school hockey game here. You know, I'll explain this later, but just to keep it short, looked like Hill Murray really dominated play in that one in the scrimmage, so it's going to be interesting to see how much Rapids has improved throughout the season.
Philpott wheels it around in the zone. We have 26 seconds left here as Ray drives in. Head Barta, and we get a whistle on the icing. Nope, didn't make it all the way down, so Barry will pick it up behind his own net. Plays it over to Ray. Ray will get it ahead to Barta. Barta will bring it in. Final seconds of period 2. It's picked up by Sexton. He'll get it out. And that's the end of second period of play.
So I'll talk about that Grand Rapids Hill Murray scrimmage here really quick. You know, it was Grand Rapids. I thought they really got work to that one against Hill Murray. And, you know, Grand Rapids, you know, they've been playing a lot better, though. In the regular season, of course, scrimmages don't matter. I'm sure they were trying different players. It was probably a tryout for them. Then I saw them play Chaska, too. They kind of got worked against them as well. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how the two teams have come along as we're about 3/4 of the way through the season. So it's You know, it should be an interesting one, and it could be two potential state tournament contenders in Grand Rapids and Hill Murray.
Yeah, it certainly could be. Grand Rapids playing well here in sectional play, and so is Hill Murray having a strong season as well. So Blake he'll recap our scoring here in period number 2.
So Grand Forks took a 3-goal lead at the 2:56 mark of the second period. Scoring the goal was number 7, Cade Linseth. And then Grand Forks took a 4-goal lead at 12:30. Scoring that goal was number 9, Riley Vesage. And that made it 4-0 there, and that's where we stand after 2 periods of play here for the IRA Civic Center. It's the Grand Forks Aviators 4 and Rochester 0. We'll be back for the final period of play coming up here from Grand Rapids.
All right, we're underway here. Third period of play. And whistle and stoppage of play. Blake's got some updated information for us here.
Okay, so there's probably a couple teams in the running for that wild card spot. For Grand Rapids to have a chance to make the wild card or the semifinals, Grand Forks would have to score one more goal here to make it a tie. Now, if Grand Forks made it 6-0, Grand Rapids would be ahead of Rochester in the goal differential.
So interesting on the formula. So we'll see what happens in this game here today or tonight. Bauer behind the net gets it over to, I believe that's Ray back in there. If I'm correct, yeah, it was Ray. Played Bauer, tips it to Barta. And held in by Rochester, shot right on, played by McBain.
So even with this game being 4-0 in the third period, it's an interesting game for that goal differential. Grand Forks scores one more here, it's going to make things really interesting.
And Wheels is behind the net, Wheels out front. Chance for Rochester, just throwing it through the crease. Rochester wants to get something going here, certainly in the third period. As tipped by Stroh. Stroh will play it behind his own net here. 15:49 just underway here, third period of play. It's been all Grand Forks here today, 4-0 over Rochester. Chance out front. Nice chance for Ottman. Front of the net, and another shot save by goaltender Peterson.
So the next game we're doing is Minot and Roseau. I don't think that game's going to have any implications on the wild card. I think Minot's out of it, and I believe Roseau is too. But there is another game going on in the East Rink that could have implications on the wild card.
All kinds of formulas and possibilities here at the IRA Civic Center complex here today. And there's a chance for Linseth breaking towards the net, and there's going to be a whistle stoppage of play. Well, looking forward to next week. Not going to be as busy of a week next week for us. Little quieter.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. We've been really busy. It's nice to get a couple of days off here and there, but we'll still be fairly busy with a few games as well.
And sent back over. Chance for Rochester. Nice shot placed on. Nice little wrister. And that came off of, I'll try to get his number here for you. Nice little chance as Decker tries to hold it in. And sent out by Johansson. And a whistle stoppage of play here.
We'll probably have some Grand Rapids parents and players watching this one, as this will determine their fate in the Thunderhawks home tournament, the Star of the North Bantam AA tournament.
Yeah, I would think there's probably quite a few interest in it. And wheeling around is Jackson. Sends it back in for the Aviators. Back to play it is Decker. Over on the other side is Retzloff. Sends it out to the point and out through center. Picked up by Stroh. And dumped out by Jackson. Decker will play it at center. And brought in now by Geike, but he's in offside.
This game is brought to you by Minnesota Twist Drill in Chisholm. They are a proud sponsor of Up North Hockey, and they wish best of luck to all players on the season ahead and to have fun.
As linebacker taking that draw for Rochester. Driving towards the net. As Jacobson trying to make a play. This is Philpott. Brings it out to center and dumped back in by Jackson. Sexton Playing on the other side. Plays it up to lineback. Fight in the corner now for it. Yeah, it's brought out here. Barry at center fires it back in for Grand Forks. 13:42 left here, period number 3. Grand Forks 4, Rochester 0. Sent towards the front of the net. Flipped down, and Rochester has it. Bringing out is Dennis. Moves it in over to Lineback. Lineback plays it into Dennis. Picked up now by Ray. Ray with it, trying to center it out for a breaking Reynolds. Goes over the top of his sticks. Reynolds will pick it up here. Turn back the other way as comes Rochester. That's sent back in by Grand Forks. Barry tips it, played in by Ottman. Grand Forks will play it out here as Scarperud moves it in. Head coach of Grand Forks, Tim Scarperud, was member of the University of North Dakota. Trying to remember what years he played at North Dakota. But he was a member of those good teams over in North Dakota under head coach Dean Blaze. Sent in here, Linseth sends it towards the net, and saved by Wyke.
This game is brought to you by the Rink Sports Grill in Eveleth. They offer casual family dining and a hockey-themed atmosphere. Try one of their daily specials or your favorites from the menu. The Rink Sports Grill offers 8 large screen TVs and 2 10-foot projection screens, so you never have to miss a minute of the game.
In the corner, Grand Forks will get called for a penalty. So a chance for Rochester here on the power play coming up here.
Yeah, it looks like it's a 2 and a 10 for checking from behind on Grand Forks. So, Rochester just looking for some goals here. They're not necessarily looking to win the game, but, every goal that they score is going to help them, and they look to do that here on this power play.
Right, they want to close this gap in this game. Played around, Grand Forks will bring it back in. Sexton picks it up, sends it over on the other side. Sexton will have it. Sexton threads it through center and brought in by Lineback. Lineback wheeling around. Gets it to Dennis. Works it over to Sexton. Shot fired on into the corner. Brought out here is Geike. Over on that side. Geike sends it back to Sexton. Sexton works it in. Into Dennis. Back to Sexton. Sends it through traffic. Gets blocked down. Sexton picks it up. Sends it into Dennis. Dennis wheeling around here. Dennis with a shot right on. Loose puck in front. Shot. Whistle. As the call was blown dead there.
This game is brought to you by Iron Range Apparel. Stop by Iron Range Apparel for all your Minnesota-themed clothing and home decor. Located in the Thunderbird Mall in Virginia, Iron Range Apparel offers lake cabin and home decor along with a large variety of apparel. Grab a hockey hoodie for the rink or a winter hat for the cold Minnesota weather from Iron Range Apparel.
And Sexton will play it at the point. He'll send it in to Dennis. Behind the net now, this is Core. Core working it to Dennis. Dennis tries to place a shot through the crease area. Sexton keeps it in. Worked it by Sexton. Plays it over to Dennis. That was Geike over on that side. Out of position with these players there. Dennis with it. Dennis took a shot, goes up over the top of the net. Stays in play. Dennis with it, trying to work through. Gets blocked down off the stick of Philpott. 10:28 left here, period number 3. Grand Forks 4, Rochester 0. Moving around as Rochester keeps it in. Black will backhand it in the zone. Black now with it. Wheels it around. Knocks it into the corner. Back out to Black. Black shot through. Gets through traffic in front as Grand Forks returns to full strength. Held in by Black. Shot. Loose puck in front. Chance for Brown. Trying to come out away with it is Ottman in the corner there. Brown plays it to Ottman. Back to the point to Decker. Decker sends it into Brown. Out to the point to Black. Black can't keep it in here. He'll try to wheel it back in. Little backhander. Racing in there is Brown along with Noreen. Chance out front. Drive out front. Loose puck in front. For Rochester, couple good chances there. And goaltender Peterson, 2 big saves.
Wow, multiple chances there for Rochester. They're just looking for 1 goal here. It's going to help them out a lot. But Andrew Peterson for Grand Forks, he's played a very good game tonight for the Aviators.
Core with that last chance for Rochester on goal here. As Andres tries to bring it out, Barry will play it in the corner. Now picked up by Ray. Kept in by Rochester on that side. Behind the net brings shot out to the point. Retzloff sends it in. Loose puck in front. Chance as Rochester was planted out front. So Rochester getting some chances here, Blake, in period number 3. Just can't get it past goaltender Andrew Peterson so far.
Yeah, they're just looking for 1 goal. I've mentioned this a couple times. Every goal is going to help them, and they still haven't been able to find the back of the net so far in this one.
Behind the net is Noreen. Plays it to Barta. Controlled by Rochester at center ice. And dumped back in by Dennis. Out to get it is Sexton. Tipped in by Core. And Forks will bring it out. Here is Jackson. Jackson moving in, shot up in the netting and out of play.
Looking at some scores around high school hockey on this Hockey Day, Minnesota. Eastview defeated Lakeville South 4-3. Crete Durham Hall over Woodbury 10-0. Chaska over Benilde St. Margaret's 5-2. And one other score, Red Lake Falls over International Falls 3-1.
Close game up at Bronco Arena today. Centering pass for Philpott, and he put it over the top of the net there. And tip back in for Core. Back to get it is Stroh. He wheels it around. Brings it through center, plays it ahead. Knocked ahead by Barta. Loose puck and whistle on the high stick.
Talking about that score, you cannot overlook Red Lake Falls. They have some younger talent. They're a young team, and you definitely can't overlook them in Section 8A.
No, it's one of those teams. You get in the playoffs, you got to be careful of all of them. Got to play solid games because you never know what's going to happen. Anybody can beat anyone in the playoffs. We've seen that happen before. As Barry plays it around and out to center. As Reynolds sends it back in. Picked up by Scarperud, plays it for Reynolds. And up out of play. 7:09 left here, period number 3. Rochester 0, Grand Forks 4.
And once again, the Hockey Day Minnesota scores from today. 5-1, the Warroad Warriors over Minneapolis. Then Blake got the victory over Blaine, 3-2 in game number 2.
Played out, held in by Grand Forks. Scarperud plays it to Vetch. Back to Vetch, back to Scarperud. And the Rochester's going to bring it out here. Brown plays it at center, sent back in by Vinny. Left as Barry picks it up. Barry moves it through center. Reynolds plays at it. Loose puck, Reynolds. And picked up now by Geike. Geike works it over. Trying to make a play. Had a breaking forward out front of the net. And that was Brown there, who had a chance to put Rochester on the board. Brought out to center, as this is not going to make it for an icing. Stroh will pick it up. Stroh plays it ahead. Gets it up to Jackson. Jackson with a drive on. Jackson will get another chance. Rebound, no score. And Linseth sent one towards the net. Gets blocked down on the other side is Stroh. Stroh sends it on. Saved by goaltender Wyke. And they're played into the corner by Andres. Andres wheels it around. Back to the point. Noreen shot on. Blocked save by Wyke. He's made some good saves in this hockey game. And out to center. Tipped out by McBain. Fired around by Jackson. Over the other side. Picked up by Sexton. Throws it towards the net. That's wide of the mark. Picked up on the other side. McBain sends it behind the net. Picked up by Ottman. Ottman with it. Trying to center it out front. There's a chance as Kantz took a whack at it. And back into the center ice area. Kantz drives it back in. Picked up now by Vetch. Vetch working it through center ice. Gets it over on the other side to Philpott. He puts it wide of the mark. Barta. Into the corner for Jackson. As Vetch has it. As Barta to Vetch. As kept in here by Barry. And a shot right on. 4:14 left here, period number 3.
Time's ticking down here for the Grand Rapids Thunderhawks. Of course, they're cheering for Grand Forks to get another goal here to make it 5-0. That would tie things up between Rochester and Grand Forks. So it's going to be an interesting last 4:12 in this game here.
And here's a chance in front for Vetch. Trying to get that goal. Out to center. Grand Forks has it. Plays it into Vetch. Vetch moves it in. Vetch wheels it around. Leaves it back. As a shot goes wide of the mark. In the corner. As this is Core. Plays it around. Fired out by Rochester. Wheeling around his lineback. He'll get it out to center. Barry will chase it back in his own end of the ice here. 3:19 left in our hockey game. 4-0. Grand Forks over Rochester. Turn back the other way comes Geike. Geike breaking in. Center gets it over on the other side. Shot right on. Save. Big save for Peterson.
Wow, he's been standing on his head here tonight. He stopped everything. Rochester has had so many chances. He's came up big for Grand Forks, and he's shut down Rochester so far. Here's 3:06 remaining in our final period of play.
Yeah, 34 saves for Ander Peterson tonight. He's played well. Another save gets flipped in there. As Rochester will keep it in. Shot on by Black. They're looking to get a goal here in this hockey game, at least. Face-off is going to be taken by Geike here. He plays it, shot right on by Brown. And Forks will turn it the other way, and we get a whistle on a high sticking penalty. Or a high stick called.
Yeah, that could have been a great chance there for Grand Forks. Looked like it was going to be a 2-on-1 opportunity, but they get called for high sticking. Face-off back in the Grand Forks zone.
Geike will take that draw. Grand Forks will pick it up. Scarperud will play it out to center. As driven back in by Rochester's McBain. Picked up by Geike now. Shot towards the net. Breaking out front with Brown. Brown wheeling around the corner. Scarperud trying to knock it out, held in by Geike. Rochester playing a lot better here in period number 3. There's a lot more chances for Rochester as they wheel around here. As Kantz and back out to get it here is going to be Geike. Geike plays it through center and dumps it in. As Grand Forks will pick it up. Stroh plays it back in. Sexton will get it along with McBain. And it's picked up now by Stroh. Stroh sends it over on the other side, intercepted. Here comes Ottman with a chance for Rochester. Now Dennis fights over on the corner, trying to get past Ray. This is Linseth, taken away. Rochester's going to have another chance here, sent back to the point to Black. Black sends it through traffic. It's blocked down. And Forks will move it out to center ice and dump it back into the Rochester end. 1:04 left here, period number 3. Grand Forks holding that 4-0 lead with a shot right on. And a save by goaltender Weike.
Well, 56 seconds remaining here in the third period. You know, it's going to be a fun finish. All Rochester wants to do here is keep it at 4-0, and they should get into the semifinal round as a wild card team.
Yeah, Rochester's going to call a timeout now here. I think the coach is well aware of where he needs to place, and he wants to make sure that there's no everybody knows what their job is here, I think.
Yeah, he definitely went and looked at it probably in between the second or third, or probably even before the game. So he definitely knows what the situation is here. And they're just looking to conserve their lead. And, you know, there's other teams that could be in the mix too in the other pool. But it would have to be like a blowout game or something where their goal differential would go way up. But right now it's primarily between Grand Rapids and Rochester. 56 seconds remaining here in the third period.
Separating that within the last minute of the game. Draw won by Grand Forks and held in. In the corner is Vetch. Vetch will try to play it out, but Rochester plays it around the boards. Rochester moves it back in as Dennis knocks it back the other way as Vetch comes through. fires it back in. Racing player out front was Endres. Turned around by Lineback. Lineback will play it out to center and dumped in by Ottman. That was Jonah Ottman sending it back in. As Black behind the net wheels it out as Bauer will send it back in. Grand Forks checks up. As now it's fired out Lineback. And no icing there. That's the end of the game. Grand Forks moving on to the semifinal round with a 4-0 victory over Rochester.
And Rochester has a good chance at making the semifinal round as well. You know, there's another game that could determine that, but this officially eliminates Grand Rapids for making the top 4. So their dream of winning their home tournament here, the Star of the North tournament, is now dead after the 4-0 victory for Grand Forks over Rochester.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how the formula works out here this afternoon, or this evening rather, and see who our 4 semifinalists will be here. The games tomorrow morning. Of course, we will have the 12 o'clock and 2 o'clock games tomorrow, but we still have one game left. Blake's going to have your call for that one coming up here shortly, so that'll be another fun game here at the IRA Civic Center.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, should be a decent game. You know, Roseau looking for some revenge against Minot. They played each other in the Roseau tournament, that Bantam AA tournament up there. And when Minot and Roseau play each other, it's about 8-0 or 8-1. You know, but Roseau, you know, they've been so inconsistent this year. You know, they've played really good games. Like they hung with Moorhead. They lost to them 3-2. Of course, Moorhead's a top 5 team in the state, but then they have had losses like that, 8-1 against Minot, and then they lost to a team like Albert Lee. So you know, it could very well be a good one between Roseau and Minot, and we'll have to wait and see what happens here coming up. So we would like to thank our 3 sponsors for making this live streaming of Bantam AA hockey possible: the Rink Sports Grill in Eveleth, Minnesota Twist Drill in Chisholm, and Iron Range Apparel, located in the Thunderbird Mall in Virginia. So for Randy, I'm Blake. We thank you for joining us for this 3rd Bantam AA game from the IRA Civic Center, the Star of the North Bantam AA tournament, and we'll be back for game number 4. Coming up here at 7:10. We'll be back live on a different stream in about 10 to 12 minutes, so stay tuned for that. So we'll see you then. And if you're not joining us for that one, we hope to see you again soon, and have a good night.